USS Gerald R Ford aircraft carrier is currently testing the first electromagnetic launching system.
Prepare to be amazed by the USS Gerald R Ford, a marvel of cutting-edge engineering and naval dominance that few truly understand. Equipped with state-of-the-art technology designed to revolutionize naval warfare. It's more than just a warship. It's a bold step into the future of maritime power. These are the 10 things you definitely didn't know about the USS Gerald R Ford. Number 10. Giant floating city. With its 24 decks and a crew of 4,539, the USS Gerald R Ford is like a floating city. It has everything from a Starbucks coffee shop to a fully equipped gym, making it a self-sufficient community at sea. Crew members play a crucial role in keeping the carrier running smoothly. They maintain the deck, search for foreign debris that could harm aircraft, and take part in daily operations. The navigation bridge is the heart of the ship, where air control and navigation are managed around the clock. The ship buzzes with activity as the galleys churn out food non-stop, serving 3 meals a day plus midnight rations, reheated leftovers beloved by tired watchstanders and insomniac pilots. It's impressive, with about 18,000 meals prepared daily by over 100 cooks. When not on duty, sailors enjoy small comforts, like a fresh haircut at the ship's barbershop, a cup of Starbucks coffee, or a workout in the hangar deck gym, with a view of the cold, foggy Atlantic. But life aboard the USS Gerald R Ford isn't easy. Conditions are cramped, with personnel navigating tight hallways and steep staircases to get around. Sleeping quarters are small, with sailors sharing rooms with up to 60 others in single bunks, called racks. Each room shares a restroom and a small common area with a TV, a storage bin, and an upright locker for clothes and personal items. Despite the limited space, the ship is equipped with everything the crew needs to live comfortably, including facilities you wouldn't expect in the middle of the ocean. The recreational areas on the USS Gerald R Ford are designed to boost the crew's well-being and morale during their downtime. The ship features a well-equipped gym with treadmills, stationary bikes, weight machines, and free weights. There's also a movie theater for relaxing with films during off-duty hours. The library offers a quiet space for reading, studying, or just unwinding with a good book. The barbershop on board ensures crew members can get haircuts and grooming services while at sea. It's staffed by trained professionals and helps maintain a neat appearance. Various game and lounge areas provide places to unwind, socialize, and enjoy leisure activities. These spaces include comfortable seating, TV screens, gaming consoles, and board and card games. One of the most important spots on the carrier is the ship's store. It offers a range of items, from toiletries and clothing to electronics. Sailors can buy snacks, drinks, and other essentials, as well as souvenirs and gifts. Prices are similar to those on land, and purchases can be made with cash or credit. Sailors also receive a non-taxable basic allowance for sustenance to cover their food costs on board. They can use their Navy exchange card to buy groceries and other items at ship stores, which are managed by the Navy Exchange Service Command. These stores offer various products, and profits help keep prices low for sailors. The galley is an enormous kitchen that spans several decks and is equipped with a variety of ovens, fryers, grills, and other cooking tools, all crucial for feeding the ship's vast crew. Sailors can grab a meal whenever they have a free moment, thanks to the galley's continuous operation. Meals are served in shifts to ensure that the crew guy is well fed throughout the day. The food is always fresh, with a daily changing menu offering a wide range of options, from classic American dishes like hamburgers and hot dogs to international cuisines like sushi and stir-fry. The galley is divided into sections, each with its own role. There's a bakery for fresh bread and pastries, a salad section for fresh greens and toppings, an entree section for hot dishes, and a dessert section for sweets and treats. Meals are served buffet style, allowing sailors to help themselves to a variety of dishes. For those with specific dietary needs, such as vegetarians or those with food allergies, special meals are prepared to ensure everyone is well-fed and healthy. To keep the galley stocked with fresh ingredients, the ship relies on underway replenishment, which we talked about earlier. Number 9. Sophisticated defensive systems. Equipped with the latest missile defense technology, the Ford is designed to protect itself and its carrier group from potential threats. Another major feature of its survival is its stealth technology. The ship's structure uses special angles and materials that make it harder for enemy radar to detect. Additionally, the Ford's propulsion system is quieter and produces less heat, making it harder for sonar and infrared sensors to spot. An important aspect is its advanced damage control system. The Ford has modern firefighting and damage control equipment and trained personnel who can quickly handle emergencies like fires, floods, or battle damage. The ship also has improved compartmentalization with watertight doors and bulkheads to limit water spread in case of hull breaches. The Ford's defensive capabilities enhance its survivability. It has strong missile defense systems like the evolved Sea Sparrow missile and the rolling airframe missile to guard against aerial threats. A close-in weapon system provides a last line of defense against incoming missiles and small boats. Furthermore, the Ford operates as part of a larger naval task force that includes guided missile cruisers, destroyers, and submarines. This combined force adds extra protection and can neutralize potential threats before they reach the carrier. But with all this power, one might wonder, what would it take to sink such a colossal ship? Submarines have long been the top threat to carriers, as they are notoriously hard to detect. However, the USS Ford can reach speeds of about 30 knots, faster than most submarines. Any sub trying to catch up would make too much noise and would likely be detected by Ford's escort ships or anti-submarine helicopters equipped with sonar and depth charges. The second major threat comes from cruise missiles. These missiles can be launched from great distances and fly low over the ocean to avoid radar detection. However, once they pop up to engage the Ford's ADR, it detects them and then adjusts the aircraft carrier course as it reveals the position of the missiles to all the radars in the Ford's battle group, making them vulnerable to interception. In a battle, the Ford-class carrier's defense relies on a coordinated effort from its battle group. Aegis cruisers would be the first line of defense, launching waves of SM-6 or RIM missiles to intercept incoming threats. The Ford itself has 2 RIM launchers, but with many more spread across the fleet, any cruise missile would need to break through several layers of anti-missile defenses, stretching tens of miles. Even if these defenses failed, the battle group's last line of defense, the CIWS phalanx turrets, would fire 50 rounds per second at the missile, with the Ford alone equipped with 3 of these fast-firing systems. To overwhelm this shield, an enemy would need to launch a massive volley of cruise missiles. But cruise missiles have one major flaw. They need a platform like a ship, submarine, or aircraft to launch from. With the Ford's fleet of over 90 combat aircraft and 4 E-2D Hawkeye early warning radar planes, the carrier can cast a huge protective radar bubble, watching for threats hundreds of miles away. No enemy Navy or Air Force could survive long enough to get within striking distance of the Ford. Ballistic missiles pose a bigger threat. These missiles can be fired from thousands of miles away, making their launch platforms hard to neutralize. China and Russia have developed modern ballistic missiles, like the DF-21, designed to target moving aircraft carriers. These missiles are said to maneuver during their descent to accurately hit targets. However, using ballistic missiles against a carrier requires a complex kill chain where multiple steps must align: spotting the carrier, identifying it, tracking it, and finally, targeting it. This process involves satellites, radar planes, and command centers. China hasn't yet proven it can master all these steps, or that it can protect these assets from attack, which could break the chain and ruin the missile strike. The Ford's battle group has tested its defenses against ballistic missiles, using SM-6 missiles to intercept them. While a large barrage might break through, China or Russia would struggle to protect the systems that guide these missiles long enough to hit a fast-moving Ford carrier. Another emerging threat is from swarms of drones or explosive-laden speedboats. These attacks would require the carrier to operate close to enemy shores, something Ford-class carriers avoid in wartime. Even if these swarms managed to find a carrier, they'd face helicopters and escort ships armed with .50 caliber machine guns. Simulations have shown swarm attacks can be dangerous, but as long as the carrier stays far from coastal waters, it's likely out of range. Still, the US isn't leaving anything to chance. Defense companies are already testing laser weapons and other advanced systems to counter these threats. The USS Gerald Ford is indeed among the most powerful war machines ever built. Number 8. Enhanced Combat Systems. The Gerald R Ford-class aircraft carrier is loaded with cutting-edge technology, built to enhance both defense and attack capabilities. Its upgraded combat systems and automated processes improve everything from missile defense to precise targeting, allowing the ship to react quickly and efficiently to any threat. One of the most remarkable features is the new radar system, called the Dual Band Radar, also known as DBR. Developed by Raytheon, this advanced search and tracking system combines two radar frequencies into a single, powerful tool. Instead of large antennas, the carrier has a sleek, six-sided radar that handles both low-altitude tracking and all-weather target searching. This space-saving design also cuts down on maintenance, since it has no moving parts. The DBR is powered by a sophisticated system and kept cool by a closed-loop cooling system, ensuring smooth operation. It's the first radar to coordinate two frequencies with a central controller, making it one of the most advanced in the world. While the USS Gerald R Ford uses this DBR system, future carriers like the USS John F. Kennedy will have an even more efficient enterprise air surveillance radar. In addition, the ship's design includes major improvements in how weapons are moved. Advanced elevators and smarter layouts allow weapons to be transported faster from storage to the flight deck without disrupting flight operations. This boosts efficiency and increases the ship's sortie rate by 25% compared to the Nimitz class. The Ford's combat system not only provides incredible power, but also has the potential to change naval warfare. One of the most impressive features of the ship's weapon system is its electromagnetic railgun. This railgun is a groundbreaking weapon that uses electromagnetic fields to launch projectiles at hypersonic speeds. With a range of up to 100 nautical miles and speeds reaching Mach 7, it is among the most advanced and powerful weapons in existence. The railgun has been developed by various U.S. military departments over the past few years. Test results show that it can easily penetrate the hulls of aircraft carriers. However, its deployment has faced challenges due to its enormous energy needs and the significant heat it generates. This heat can warp the gun's barrel, making it a single-use weapon unless properly cooled. To address these challenges, the USS Gerald R Ford nuclear reactors produce substantial power output sufficient to operate the railguns. Additionally, the availability of seawater can help cool the railgun barrels, making their use on aircraft carriers feasible. Another vital part of Ford's offensive capabilities is the Tomahawk land attack missiles. These long-range, all-weather subsonic cruise missiles can target both sea and land-based enemies. With a range of up to 2,500 kilometers, Tomahawks can strike deep into enemy territory without risking the USS Gerald R Ford. Their advanced guidance systems ensure high precision, reducing the risk of collateral damage and increasing strike effectiveness. But the future is even more thrilling. Plans to add free electron lasers and electric armor, which need massive power, are in the works. Fortunately, the Gerald R Ford class carriers have plenty of power to spare. Only half of their energy generation is currently in use, leaving plenty of room for future laser weapons. Number 7. Advanced lift systems. The Ford class carrier has 11 powerful electromagnetic lifts, each capable of carrying up to 24,000 pounds, more than double the load the older Nimitz class carriers can handle. This upgrade cuts down on the manpower needed and boosts efficiency. These weapons elevators, known as Advanced Weapons Elevators, or AWE, lift heavy munitions from deep within the ship up to the hangar bay and flight deck, where fighter jets are prepared for missions. An interesting fact about this system is that it was one of 23 new technologies designed for Ford-class carriers, but many of these innovations faced delays during testing, pushing back the ship's debut from 2018 to late 2022. AWE was the last system to be fixed. To prevent further delays, the Navy allowed the crew and air wing to start training on the ship in 2020, while also conducting post-delivery tests and shock trials in 2021. Contractors worked non-stop on the elevators, completing them one by one while the ship was at sea and in port. The final elevator was handed over to the crew on December 22, 2021, marking a huge achievement for the Navy. Another shocking fact about these elevators is that back in 2018, Navy Secretary Richard Spencer told President Trump that if the elevators weren't finished by midsummer, he should be fired. But by mid-2020, Spencer had to admit the elevators wouldn't be fully operational until the end of 2021 or possibly 2021. He blamed Huntington Ingalls Industries for poor communication, and attempts to complete all the elevators by mid-2021 also fell short. This delay placed a heavy burden on the other 10 carriers in the fleet, forcing them to stay out longer and deploy more frequently to fill the gap. This happened at a time when naval readiness is more important than ever, especially with the Chinese Navy growing at a rapid pace. Number 6. Electromagnetic Catapults. The days of steam-powered catapults are over. Now, the USS Gerald R Ford uses the incredible power of electromagnetism to launch aircraft, accelerating them from 0 to over 100 knots in just seconds, faster than even the world's fastest roller coasters. Unlike the old steam catapults, the new electromagnetic aircraft launch system, also known as EMALS, is not only faster, but also much more precise. This technology launches planes so smoothly that it puts less strain on the aircraft, reducing wear and tear. It's also lighter, cheaper to operate, and easier to maintain than the steam-powered systems. Plus, EMALS can launch a wide range of aircraft, from heavy jets to light drones, all while saving water and energy since it doesn't rely on steam. At the core of EMALS is a linear induction motor, which uses alternating electric currents to create powerful magnetic fields. These fields push a carriage down a long track, launching planes into the sky. The motor can hurl a 100,000-pound aircraft down its 300-foot track at speeds of 150 miles per hour. For each launch, EMALS needs a massive surge of electricity, more than the ship can provide instantly. To solve this, the system stores energy between launches in rotating disc alternators, which release it in a burst of power when needed, taking just 2 to 3 seconds to send the plane soaring. During the launch, sensors along the track make sure the right amount of force is applied, preventing damage to the aircraft and ensuring a smooth takeoff. This precise control is what sets EMALS apart from the old steam catapults. On the other end of the flight deck, aircraft land using an advanced arresting gear system, or AAG. When an aircraft lands, it lowers a tailhook that catches one of the arresting wires stretched across the deck. The AAG system then absorbs the energy from the landing, bringing the aircraft to a complete stop in just a short distance. The EMALS has been put through tough testing. Starting in 2010, it successfully launched a variety of aircraft, from the FA-18E Super Hornet fighter jet to the heavier C-2 Greyhound. By 2014, it had completed hundreds of test launches, proving its ability to handle different conditions and aircraft types, even under challenging scenarios. In 2017, the first real emails launch from the USS Gerald R Ford took place, and by 2021, the system had completed over 8,000 launches, proving just how reliable it is. Compared to the old steam catapults, EMALS is a true game changer. It's part of the Navy's vision for all-electric ships, pushing naval aviation into a bold new future. As exciting as this technology may seem, and while it's sure to shape the military's future, there's a surprising fact you might not know. It's not entirely new. It's over 7 decades old. Back in the 1950s, when steam catapults were initially developed, Navy engineers pointed out that steam catapults had no feedback control, meaning the launch force could sometimes spike, damaging the aircraft. The engineers also pointed out that the steam system was huge, inefficient, hard to manage, and worked well for launching heavy planes but struggled with lighter aircraft. So, they designed the first blueprint for the first EMALS, called the Electropult, which was developed by Westinghouse in 1946, but it never got deployed. Number 5. Impressive aircraft capacity. The USS Gerald R Ford can hold up to 75 aircraft, including FA-18s, helicopters, and the E-2D Hawkeye. This diverse fleet makes the carrier a powerful force in naval aviation, capable of handling many different missions at once. The ship's design has been carefully optimized for efficient operations, offering maximum support for various aircraft missions. You might wonder why other countries haven't been able to replicate this success. The answer lies in the carrier's unique features. First, the EMALS, which we mentioned earlier. This cutting-edge system works with a wide range of aircraft, giving the Navy more flexibility. It also saves valuable space that would otherwise be taken up by bulky steam catapults used in older carriers. This extra space is critical for handling more planes and equipment. Then there's the expansive flight deck, which stretches an impressive 1,106 feet. This massive deck allows for simultaneous takeoffs and landings, giving pilots plenty of room to maneuver aircraft efficiently. It's not just big, it's designed for precision and speed, making operations smoother and faster. Number 4. Powerhouse of Energy. The carrier's nuclear power system gives it a huge advantage, allowing it to sail the seas for over a decade without needing to refuel. This provides unmatched range and flexibility, making it ready for any mission, anywhere. The Gerald R Ford class is run by the newest and most powerful Bechtel A1B reactor. This reactor is smaller and simpler than the older Nimitz-class A4W reactor. It requires fewer crew members, but delivers far more power. The USS Gerald Ford is equipped with 2 of these reactors, generating at least 25% more power than the Nimitz class. This extra power triples the amount of electricity available for the ship's systems, giving it a massive boost in capability. Unlike the older Nimitz class, which was designed in the 1960s when power demands were much lower, the Gerald R Ford class is built for the future. Steam from the reactors drives 4 main turbine generators, converting it into electricity to run the ship's most critical systems, including the cutting-edge electromagnetic catapults. Steam turbines also handle propulsion, ensuring the ship can keep pace with any challenge. One of the key advantages of this new design is its ability to evolve. Engineers made sure the ship could easily integrate future technologies, ensuring it stays ahead of threats for decades. With a lifespan of 90 years, the Gerald R Ford class is prepared for the future, with half of its electrical capacity still available for systems yet to be invented. Number 3. Improved flight deck. The massive flight deck is designed for optimal efficiency in launching and recovering aircraft, making it one of the most advanced floating airfields. While there is a slight risk of aircraft falling off the flight deck, The Ford is designed to minimize this risk. The flight deck has non-slip surfaces to improve traction during takeoff and landing. Advanced arresting gear safely slows down aircraft during landing, reducing the chance of them sliding off the deck. In emergencies, such as when an aircraft's cockpit fails or its brakes malfunction, safety barriers called jet blast deflectors can be raised to prevent the aircraft from falling off the deck. These barriers are made of strong, reinforced steel and can handle the force of a jet engine. Flight deck crew members, who wear colored shirts, are specially trained to handle emergencies and coordinate with other departments to keep both aircraft and personnel safe. Regular drills ensure that the crew is well prepared and aware of potential risks, further lowering the chance of accidents. In the rare event that an arresting cable breaks during an aircraft landing on a carrier like the USS Gerald R Ford, there are safety measures in place to minimize risks and damage. First, pilots are highly trained to handle such situations. If an aircraft fails to catch the arresting cables, it needs to immediately take off again. This is called a bolter. Pilots are prepared to use full throttle to quickly gain altitude, circle back, and try landing again. The aircraft carrier is designed with enough runway space to allow aircraft to speed up and become airborne safely. Second, modern carriers like the USS Gerald R Ford have advanced arresting gear systems with multiple backups. Several cables are stretched across the deck, so if one breaks, the chances of the aircraft's hook catching another cable are still high. The arresting gear system is carefully monitored and maintained to ensure it works well, with regular checks to reduce the chance of failures. If a cable breaks or snaps, the crew quickly assesses the situation and clears any debris from the flight deck to make sure the aircraft can safely land on its next attempt. The flight deck is also equipped with visual landing aids, like the Fresnel Lens optical landing system, which helps pilots land safely. However, hand signals are still crucial in case of system failures. Crew members regularly practice hand signals to ensure clear communication and safety. Operating on the flight deck is challenging, especially in varying weather conditions. High winds, heavy rain, and low visibility make the job even tougher. In cases of low visibility, such as fog or heavy clouds, pilots rely on visual cues for takeoff and landing, so reduced visibility makes these tasks harder. The ship's radar and communication systems become vital for guiding pilots and coordinating with the flight deck crew. The FLOLs helps provide glide slope information to ensure safe landings even in poor visibility. Number 2. Refueling capability. The USS Gerald R Ford could refuel other vessels at sea, giving Allied ships the power to travel farther and increasing their strategic value. This capability was put to the test on March 23, 2023, when the ship conducted a critical fueling at sea operation, its first in over 11 months. Ford received more than 1 million gallons of Jet Propellant 5 aircraft fuel in just 3 hours from the fleet replenishment oiler, USNS Kanawha. As the operation began, Ford skillfully moved alongside Kanawha, sending a line over to establish communication and connect the fuel lines. Once secured, the lines were stretched and tensioned, and Ford started the delicate fueling process. The JP5 fuel received in this operation will be essential for powering aircraft and vehicles needed for flight deck certification and air wing qualifications. The ability to refuel at sea, known as underway replenishment, is key to extending a ship's range and deployment time. This method required both the supply and receiving ships to move together at the same speed and course, a difficult task, especially in bad weather. Storms rocked the ships, making them harder to control, but the crew's skill ensured they managed these challenges. Replenishing in rough sea conditions demanded flawless coordination and teamwork. Each crew member, from the deckhands to the navigation officers, played a vital role in ensuring the operation's success. During the process, the ships maintained a precise separation of 180 to 200 feet, relying on sight, phone lines, and radio communication. A shot line was fired to establish a connection, allowing fuel lines to span across the churning sea. As the waves rolled and the wind picked up, the scene grew more intense. The crew stayed focused, working in perfect sync to transfer the fuel. Every movement was crucial, every action precise. Even the smallest error could have led to disaster, but the sailors handled the operation with steady hands. Wire handlers and the fueling team worked with sharp precision, connecting thick hoses between two massive ships. Both vessels moved together in perfect sync, despite the rolling ocean beneath them. The bridge officers remained laser-focused, knowing that even a small shift at 11 knots could cause a dangerous drift. Fuel flowed through large hoses, while cargo like medicine was lowered from high-rigging transfer lines. Vertical replenishment, known as VERTREP, is another way in which this colossal aircraft carrier is refueled. Using helicopters, the cargo was carefully delivered to ships from above. Although helicopters had limited cargo capacity, VERTREP worked alongside connected replenishment to handle crucial deliveries. This method was often used for transferring sensitive cargo, like ammunition, as seen when helicopters supplied weapons to the Nimitz-class aircraft carrier, USS Carl Vinson. During VERTREP, crews lowered supplies and slings from the hovering helicopter to the deck below. They worked through challenges like strong winds and choppy seas, making every delivery tense and critical. Typically, 2 to 4 pallets were lowered, each weighing up to 3,000 pounds. Handling munitions was particularly tricky, and the crew followed strict safety protocols. As the helicopter hovered, the crew positioned the cargo with precision, carefully syncing with the ship's movements to avoid shocks or accidents. Once the load was down, forklifts quickly moved the cargo from the deck to the storage areas inside. Number 1. Reduced crew requirement. Despite its size and advanced technology, the USS Gerald R Ford is designed to need fewer crew members. Thanks to automation and modern systems, the ship operates with just 2,600 sailors, about 700 fewer than the older Nimitz-class carriers. Instead of the large 180-man berthing areas found on Nimitz-class carriers, the Ford-class ships use smaller 40-rack berthing areas. These smaller spaces are quieter and reduce foot traffic. The racks are stacked 3 high with locker space for each sailor. While they don't have the modern sit-up racks with extra headroom, each sailor can lie down comfortably. Each berthing area has its own bathroom with showers, vacuum-powered toilets, but no urinals, as the berthings are gender-neutral, and sinks. This setup minimizes the need for long trips to use these facilities. Wi-Fi-enabled lounges are conveniently located nearby, separate from the berthing racks. However, not everything is perfect. Since its deployment, the USS Gerald R Ford has faced problems with its waste system plumbing. The pipes are too narrow, leading to frequent vacuum failures and clogged toilets. To fix these issues, expensive acidic cleaning solutions are used to flush out the sewage system. Each cleaning costs around $40,000, which significantly raises the ship's operating expenses. This maintenance will be needed for the entire life of the carrier. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.